Well, we have the privilege today of meeting a Canadian country music star and worship artist, Shylo Sharity. Shylo, thanks for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
It's actually fun to meet you out in your stomping grounds. You're a BC girl, and here we are in BC, right? This is how we first met. I was speaking at your church's, women's conference, and you were leading worship.
I was leading worship, yes.
And we just became friends then. I knew we'd see each other again. Shylo, tell me a little bit about your faith journey.
Yeah, for sure. By the grace of God, pretty much born and raised in the church. So since I was 3, I was involved in everything you can think of, Wee College, Sunday school at that age, but Wee College, and just grew up involved and going. So youth group, Bible studies. I was writing music, leading worship at 15 years old at my church, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But somehow they trusted me. So leading worship, and then just people coming alongside and encouraging me and getting better at guitar, and then learning how to change keys and memorize everything.
You're really mentored in the church, weren't you?
Yes, very much so. Even harmonies as well.
Okay, you learned all that in
definitely.
church. You know, it's interesting when you watch country music awards. What is one of the threads almost in everyone's backstory is I learned to sing in the church, right?
Yes.
And that is so true of you. You were encouraged. You've been brought up through the church. Did you always follow Jesus wholeheartedly?
By the grace of God, yes. I went to a Christian school, high school, and I actually graduated from Trinity Western University, which was very fun.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, He's just kept me in the narrow as well as I can. And
that's a great testimony. Yeah. Because it doesn't have to be all about it was in the gutter, and right?
Yeah.
But that is the grace of God in your life.
Totally.
And I love that. And I just hear in your story, and of course, when I met you, I could just see that, you let people speak into your life. Don't you think that's part of learning and growing and maturing?
100%. Whenever I meet somebody who's a little bit older, I'm just like, give me the best advice you can ever give me.
That's
awesome. What would you recommend? And they're like, oh, I got to think about this. Like, what would I impart? What wisdom would I impart to you? So I do love.
But that's important because I don't think a lot of young people either necessarily do that, or they think like, oh, maybe nobody wants to, give me advice. But that's a good example, don't you think, to follow?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I haven't lived all those years that these other people have lived. So to glean wisdom from them, I think is smart.
No, it is smart. It's good. It's a good pattern too. So like you lead worship at Village Church, right? Which is a multi-site church in the Vancouver area.
Yes.
And does that take up most of your time?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a full-time gig or what?
Yes, it's a full-time gig.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of it is honestly just coordinating a bunch of different people and making sure everyone knows what they're doing, and then running practices, and then we have 4 services on a Sunday morning. We just went down to 3, praise the Lord, to allow for a bit more time and community to be built. So it's great.
So you're mentoring.
Oh,
See
yes.
how quick that happens, right? Like
very much.
Yeah, you got to have someone ahead of you, and then you've always got people behind you. That's really good.
I've always been a huge champion of young girls. I just think it's so important. There's been so many people who've come alongside of me and just even saying, like, I believe in you. You can do this. You should be leading worship. You should write music. It's like having those people say that to me is so important. So now I'm like, you can do this. I want to give you opportunity.
That's a great way to live. So how did you, so you've got, you work really full-time in the church, but you're a country music star, girl. I love it.
Thank you. I'm working on it. It's a journey.
Great. What is that? That's got to have challenges.
Oh my gosh.
What's the difference between, we call it the sacred versus the secular? Is it really a real deal? Like, how do you see your role as a country music artist?
The reason why I love country music foremost is that you can sing about Jesus in the format of country music. That's why I love it. So A, being a worship leader, awesome, Jesus, but then B, writing my own music, being a part of that community, you can still sing about Jesus and it's accepted, encouraged even. So that's what I love. It's a journey, sacred and secular. I think it's just more so as anyone in any position or any job, it's more just loving Jesus wherever you're planted.
Oh, that's good.
So whether you're in a songwriter and you're not necessarily writing a worship song, like it's who you are as a person.
That's
right.
I know. I actually don't believe in the sacred secular divide. I just actually think it's got to be an outflow of your life. Wherever you are, right? Tell us about this journey, though. You've gotten awards, you've been, traveling, you do festivals, like you go down to Nashville and write. Like, give us a little
honestly,
into your world.
It picked me. Country music picked me. Really? Some girl invited me on, she's like, hey, on Facebook, she's like, you should enter this competition. I was like, okay, cool. I entered it. I wasn't necessarily crazy about country at that time. I grew up on screamo music, so kind of weird.
Okay, yeah.
So I entered it and I didn't win, but I learned so much in that process that the next year I entered, I won.
Yeah.
Then I made the CCMA Discovery Program, which is across Canada. They picked 6 of us, flew us out there, had us perform for the CCMA project. We walked the John Deere green carpet.
Wow,
it was the best experience. Then I won an all-paid scholarship to Toronto for a business music development program. So I lived in Toronto for 2 months and went to that.
Yeah.
I feel like something else happened. I opened for Toby Keith at Sunfest that summer, and I just finished recording my EP in the studio. So now I'm releasing my songs. Oh, and I just finished a radio tour across Canada, and I just went on a 5-state road trip to make a music video for that song that I released.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's kind of been a whirlwind. It's been a fun journey.
Well, tell us how people find you. Where do they find your music? Like everywhere music sold?
Everywhere music sold, Shylo Sharity. On every platform. And I would love the follow. I love the DM, just connecting with people.
Well, and I love how you're a true connector. I mean, you just love, and it's genuine, even on your social media, like you care about people. And that's why you're such a good songwriter, because don't you think songwriting is like about connecting with people and telling stories?
Yes, and I think along my journey of songwriting and learning, I think the biggest thing people want is to feel. I think that's the biggest thing. So how do you, in your daily walk, allow people to feel what you're feeling or the emotions you're feeling or come along the journey with you?
Yeah, so no, that's really good. Because I know music stirs our soul, whether it's in church or in our or it's in our car.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
And so for you to really be shedding the light that is so clearly in you on all those platforms, like why not use every opportunity, right, to shed about the goodness of God in our life? I'm so proud of you. And I just think it's so great because in Canada, you know, we sometimes don't know what people are doing. You know, like who are the people out there that are representing us? And your music is in the US, it's everywhere, right? Do you go to Nashville very often?
I do, yes, to write. I just was there about a month-ish ago. And I wrote 3 new songs I'm so excited about, like more excited than any other song I've written. So I'm looking forward to recording those and the process of getting that out there and what that looks like. And
okay, so I'm just dreaming right now, but I'm seeing like Shylo Sharity and Carrie Underwood. Just thought I'd throw that out there, but you know,
take the wheel.
right. I'm so proud of you. Bless you in what you do.
Thank you.
And you know what? Thank you for being such a good example for many young women. I mean, as I'm just sitting here, I'm just loving that if you live a life that you're always looking for people ahead of you to mentor you, but you're always looking behind to mentor others. I think that's a great example. So check Shylo Sharity on all platforms. Check out her music. Say hi to her on social media. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun.